Alright, so let's take a proper look and more deep and dive look into the new B&M figures. So, we have had these previously leaked and that before, but finally we're having a proper look at them. So, taking a look at the history of the Dalek sect, it's covering up the number, but number 14, which is the revelation of the Dalek sect. Interestingly, no Skaro Dalek, it is just two Necros Daleks. Now, these have been given a new eye stalk to them, so yeah, and this is probably the closest to the Necros eye that we've had so far. Also, thankfully, they've also been given the straight gun this time around. But also, a new MIG section here where they've got the correct wider oval. Now, you can see here on the neck section here, which again I went over in a previous video, you can see that a new piece has been added there to make it look like the neck section where it doesn't sit flush. Unfortunately, it hasn't been given the mesh effect, which, yeah, because the thing is, it is just the mesh continue, so it's interesting that it's like that. Also, the slats, yeah, they've been given a pretty sloppy paint job, at least that one has. Which is weird because normally they're moulded in the colour that the slacks are, and the in-between mesh sections are the bits that are painted, if there's any paint needed. Whereas this is the other way around, where the slats are painted, but the mesh is just moulded, presumably moulded, and that colour might be painted in that as well. So, yeah, and unfortunately, for those who are hoping to go back to the old style packaging, no, it is the blister design. However, I will give it this. It does look more sturdy this time, thankfully, because of it having another corner to it and just having a bare window like that. So, yeah, thankfully that is the case. Although, I can't see where, if any, it is glued down. So it might not be a true blister card design. Again, it's hard to tell. It might just be a piece of plastic that is in there. So maybe the thoughts and prayers are being answered where possibly the packaging, again, we'll have to see when reviews of this come out and people actually get their hands on it, whether or not it's actually stuck down to the cardboard or whether it is just a piece of plastic that is just held in place by the cardboard. You can see the design motif is interesting because it's kind of a mishmash, because it doesn't match the same design motif that we've seen on the 14th Dr. Sonic Screwdriver retail release, though it does still have the same backdrop as that, but the rest of it is in the same style as the online exclusive releases, which is interesting. Now we're going to the Ultimate Adventure set with the 6th Doctor and TARDIS. So, yeah, the TARDIS itself is basically the same old that we've seen before. The most interesting figure is obviously the 6th Doctor figure himself. Which, yeah, for the longest time, Aldebar said we couldn't get 6th Doctor figures because they were too complicated paint job. But here is just being simplified down, particularly the trousers and that as well. Although, I just noticed that the lines on there, I don't know if that is supposed to be painted like that. I don't know, it just looks a little bit hishy-pishy. But yeah, it is nice to finally see a 6th Doctor make its way to B&M. And it's a new variant, it's the Ultimate Adventure variant. So yeah, very happy to see this one. And unfortunately, again, this is an annoyance, that unfortunately it is completely open box and that. And even more unfortunate, it's got the bloody plastic going through the pegs again, which means we're going to get warped TARDISes here ever. And also the 6th Doctor, which is positioned slightly a bit to the side in this one. Unfortunately, it means that it is going to possibly, have a banged, rubbed up nose. So, yeah, that is a bit unfortunate with that. I haven't been able, at the time of making this video, I haven't been able to find the details whether it's electronic or not, but I'm assuming it probably is. And finally, the Richard Hurdle figure. A figure that we've waited for a long time, and the reason is basically due to likeness rights of Richard Hurdle's estate, but here it is. I mean, majority of it is just reusing a First Doctor body with just basically a new head, but still, finally getting this is, good. And also, particularly also getting a Dalek that we haven't had for a long time. So yeah, one of the most famous Dalek props ever made, 1/7. Or mishmash, I should say. So yeah, and it does have new dome lights and that to it as well. It does have the new dome lights, but again, it has the incorrect eye for some reason. It's been given the 70s eye. The end of the gun in the prototype image has actually been painted red for the first time. Yeah, the end bit, which is basically the bits that come out when the gun fires. However, it should have an oval, and it doesn't have an oval. Again, I went over these points before. You can see the plunger mold is getting really warped and bent nowadays, and yeah, it's just unfortunate with that. But you can see the two figures in that there, and taking a look at their box and that, which again is basically the same in that motif. But again, it's hard to tell now. With this one, it might just be blisters that are stuck to the box. I can definitely see some sticking in that around there, at least with the hurdle figure. But yeah, you can see this one, the design motif for this box is slightly different. They've went for more of a blue design, so does this mean there'll be different colours for different ones? I don't know. I don't know how this one is blue, yet the other two are yellow. Well, that one's yellow, and the TARDIS one is more of a gold, actually. But still sharing the same Vortex design motif. But, yeah, that's a quick overview of the figures, and, yeah, hope you enjoy this video.